everybody, it's Amanda from Queen of Hearts Photography, and today I'm going to do a watch me edit video. I know it's been a little while since I've actually posted a tutorial. We've had a crazy holiday season and it's wintertime in Ohio, so everything's just kind of muddy and dead, and I really haven't had that much motivation to take my camera outside and take any pictures, so I'm kind of lacking in pictures to work with. But I love doing these watch me edit videos because it gives you like a background behind the scenes glimpse into how I edit and how I use my actions and the hand editing that I do when it's necessary. And I do use actions in pretty much all of my watch me edit videos because originally I created these actions for my own use. So I love showing you guys how I use them. So let's get on started in here and work on this picture. This is a picture of my son, as always. He's my photogenic child. And the first thing I'm going to do is go in here and get rid of these little scratches that he has on his face. Just take the Band-Aid tool and just kind of get them out the best that you can. That's good enough for now. And the next thing I'm going to do is I am going to add some warmth because it's a very cool toned image. So I'm going to take warmth here from the Heirloom Set. And this action I love. I run this on all of my cool tone photos because I think that it just works the best for me. And you can see there's the before and there's the after, quite different. And I'm just going to use, click on my little layer mask here and make sure you have a black paintbrush. And I'm going to brush it off of the snow because snow is supposed to be blue. It's not supposed to be warm. So I'm going to go ahead, actually it's supposed to be white, but we're going to fix that too later. You want to see how I make my blue snow white, you'll see in this image, in this video. So I'm going to take this on off here. And I also think I'm going to take it off of his eyes because his eyes are very blue and I don't want them to be warmed up at all. So I'm going to take that off. You see the difference it makes because the warmth there really messed with his blue eyes and we don't want to do that. So I'm going to take that off of there. So back to pretty blue. I'm going to go ahead and flatten that. And the next action I'm going to run is Airy from the Heirloom Set. I'm going to use this just to kind of brighten it up a little bit and make it pop. I'm going to go in here and I'm going to turn off the warmth because we already added warmth. So I don't need that extra layer. But everything else I'm going to leave the same. You can see the before, it's kind of just dull, and the after, and it really just kind of gives a lot of contrast, some color, and just makes it really pop. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to flatten that. I'm going to leave it just as it is. And then the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to come down to the Back to Basics set and I'm going to run the airbrush action. And I know when you're looking at it, you're like, he really doesn't need anything done to his skin. But if you follow me in any of my other videos, you know that I love the soft skin. I have to have it. It's just something I have to do. I just have to. So I'm going to go in and just soften it up just a bit. I'm going to make sure that you have a white paintbrush for this one. I am going to use it at full opacity, but I'm going to turn it down after I get everything covered the way I want it. Make sure you get all the skin. And now this is way too much, obviously, so I'm going to drop it down to like 65, I think. That's pretty good for me. I'm going to go ahead and flatten that. And the next thing I'm going to run is also from the Back to Basics set. I'm going to run the lip and cheek stain, and I'm going to run that on his cheeks a little bit. Let's make this brush just a little bit bigger because he's outside and we want his cheeks to be like rosy. And I know you can't really tell much of a difference right now. It's kind of subtle, but I'm going to make it a little bit more opaque. My phone's going off. So I'm going to brush it on. You can see a little bit of the difference. Just come over here to the opacity and bring it up to your liking. I think that's pretty good. And if you can hear Mickey Mouse in the background, it's because my son is watching Mickey Mouse. I'm going to make the brush a little bit smaller. And I'm going to go over his lips just a little bit because my son he gets the worst chapped lips. So I'm just going to kind of bring a little bit of color back into those lips for him. Should probably make this a little bit smaller and try to get into the corners there. We're all getting over a cold here, so my voice is kind of crackly and my son is coughing, so you'll have to excuse all that. Alright, so I think that looks pretty good. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to flatten that. And then the next thing I'm going to do, well, I was going to use the color brush, but we really don't need to add any color. I think the Airy action pretty much covered that. So I think we're going to skip that step. Normally I would run my color brush down here in Back to Basics and kind of just pop out color where I wanted it. But the color looks really great to me here, so I'm just going to leave it. So the next thing that I'm going to do, I think, is I'm going to run the sharpening brush action here. And make sure that your brush is white. And I'm going to go in here, definitely focus on the eyes. You want those eyes to pop. And with the contrast and the color in his eyes, and you add this sharpening brush to it, it just makes the eyes pop so much better. I just love it. Make the brush a little bit bigger, just to kind of focus on the points where you want it to be sharp, where it's already sharp. You want to avoid the skin though, because we took all that time to soften it. We don't really want to go in there and rough it up any, so a little bit over the lips and a little bit over the nose. And that's pretty much it for sharpening. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to flatten that. You can see he has little cat hair here and a little cat hair there, and could take the time to clone all that out, but cat hair is just part of our family. We have a white cat, that's just the way it is, and we have a golden retriever who sheds everywhere, so that's just life. So I'm just going to leave it. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to fix the color of his hat. His hat is actually a very deep navy blue, almost black right here, and this is a gray. And you can see that it's very cool toned. It's off color from what it looks like in person. So I'm going to use the Take Out the Blue hue from the Back to Basics set. I love this action. My gosh, do I love this action. And I'm actually going to run this over the snow and take out some of that blue also. So we probably brush that big. Okay, back, sorry about that. Our dog has to bark at everything. Anyway, I'm going to Take Out the Blue hue brush here from the Back to Basics set. And make sure you have a white brush. And I'm just going to go ahead and brush this over his hat and take out that, it's like the cyan color that we just want gone. I'm going to take all that out. I want to be very careful not to hit his eyes, because you can see how beautiful blue his eyes are. And his eyes are beautifully blue in person. As you can see, I didn't add anything to his eyes at all. All I did was take off the warmth, because I didn't want it to warm up his eyes, because, well, they're not warm. They're very blue. Okay, so I think we got his hat pretty good. My voice is so crackly. I'm so sorry. I think that's pretty good. And then I'm going to go and get the snow also, get the cyan out of the snow. Take a giant brush and get it on out. So this is going to bring the colors back in the image to what I would like them to be. Like his hat looks a lot more like this in person. And the snow, of course, you don't want all that cyan in the snow, so I took all that out. I'm going to go ahead, let's do the before and after. I love this action. Before, there's a lot of cyan, and the after. And now the cyan is gone. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to flatten this. And now you could leave this image just like as it is right here. It's beautiful, but I love to add matte to a lot of my images. So I'm going to run the matte action here from the Back to Basics set. This is the matte action that I use in 90% of my images. If there's a matte effect to it, it's probably run by this very simple action. One step here. Press play and I am done. So there's the before and there's the after. I just love the filmy effect that it gives, and it also helps to kind of mask out some of the highlights. You see how there's a lot of highlights back here, and with the matte action it kind of takes all that away. So here is our finished product. I love this image. I love the color. I love the pop. I think it's beautiful, and I hope that you enjoyed this video. And I'm going to try to get another Watch Me Edit video up for you very, very soon and try to catch up on the stuff that I missed during the holidays. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and until next time, bye.